You're listening to the Geek Blues Podcast, the show that tunes you in and hypes you up on your favorite anime and games. Glad you could make it, Geek Bros and Bluesettes. And now, without further ado, here's Genbu and the Geek Blues crew with today's episode. So sit back and enjoy the ride. You're in good hands. And don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Geek Blues Podcast, where we tune you in and hype you up on your favorite games and anime. I'm your host, Genbu, and with me, I got my co-host, Dandy Guy in Space. What's going on?
Yo, what's up, my dude?
Nothing much, just getting by the week. How was your week?
Oh, man, it's already Tuesday, and I really wish it was Friday right now.
Yeah.
I really wish it was Friday.
Same here. I'm already, my weekend went by too fast.
Yeah, dude, it went by like super fast. I mean, oh my god, I think that's honestly like the fastest weekend I think we've had all year so far, at least for me.
And well, the worst part about me is like my weekend, because I work, like I usually work Fridays and Saturdays, my weekend starts on Sunday. And Sunday, like I can't really find anyone to chill with because people are like, Sunday's like their chill day. So no one really wants to go out and party on Sunday night.
Oh, dude, Bill is exactly like that. Bill is like one of those guys where like if it's on Sunday, he doesn't get out of his pajamas unless he absolutely has to. And all he does is watch football all day. And like every time, like, yo, Bill, let's go do this. And like, yo, it's on a Sunday though. If there's football, I don't get out of my pajamas and I don't leave my house. Like, yeah, but we could go like get food. He's like, nah, I can get food at my house. Like, damn.
Yeah, that's why I gotta get my schedule changed. Yeah, I can't. We'll see. Maybe one day. I don't know. The way my job is, or you can only hope.
Yeah, yeah. From what Christian told me. Oh my gosh.
Well, I did have quite a few drinks, so I'm happy about that.
So I had sake over the weekend.
Oh, that's right. You sent that picture in the group chat. Oh, yeah. You son of a bitch.
It was pear flavored. It wasn't bad. Like everyone else that tried it with me absolutely hated it. And I'm just like, I think it tastes pretty good. Like, I like it. Fuck it. It's something I can drink and get fucked up on.
See, I'm a huge sake fan. So I know when I saw you put that bottle on the group chat, I was very jealous of you. I just gotta let you know that. You kind of hurt my feelings a little bit too, because I was at work when you sent that picture.
Dude, I didn't know that. Oh.
A single tear came down my eye, and my head lowered onto the desk.
Yo, we'll have to get together and compare sakes then.
Oh, yeah. Listen, you don't got to tell me twice. I'll be out there. Just say the word. I'm there. Yeah, I'm there. Yeah. I tell you, me and a few friends of mine, every other Sunday, we usually do like a sake Sunday where we go to this restaurant. It's called Umi. And we just drink sake for hours.
I think I know where that is.
Yeah, it's right in Stratford, right on the White Horse Pike. You can't miss it.
Yeah, I passed that today and yesterday.
Yo, I tell you, we all got to get there. We all got to go out there and get some sake.
Definitely.
I can show you guys how to really do it like a true boss. All right.
Now, are you supposed to drink it like lukewarm or like hot or?
Well, I usually drink it hot. I mean, they serve it to you hot. You can request a cold bottle of sake. They got different kinds and flavors and everything like that, but I don't really do that until summertime because, summertime's hot. I like cool sake, but during the fall and winter, even all year round, I usually get it hot.
Okay.
Like piping hot.
I mean, I microwaved it in a glass, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, you can do that.
I don't know if I did it justice, man. It was pretty good. Yeah,
preferably, it should be, in my opinion, it should be hot.
Okay. All right. Well, at least I kind of did it right then.
Yeah. So, getting into everything, everybody, you can check us out at www.geekbluespodcast.com. All right. We are on all forms of social media. So that includes Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook. Join our new Facebook group, which is called the Geek Blues Anime and Gaming Roundtable. We're all there.
I like it. I think it's always good quality memes and nothing too crazy.
Yeah, not yet. Until I'm just warming up.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh, trust me. Like, I've been watching it too. Like, I'm looking at it, like, especially at work. I'm like, I don't know if they can handle this one. Like from my other group chats, like I don't know if I should do that. Like, so I can't post as much. Like, oh,
I say just post it because we're just a new Facebook group anyway. Just post it. I'm not really good. I'm pretty lax when it comes to to the material that goes up there. As long as it's not looking crazy, like like some kind of circle jerk or something. That is,
oh man,
it's good.
that's like the best thing though. Come on, man.
Yeah, I take that back. As long as it's nothing like as long as it's nothing like 3 steps above that, then we should be good.
All right, I can handle that then.
So everyone, join that Facebook group. All right, come chat with us, and Twitter, like I said, Instagram, and listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. I've said this so many times. Everyone should pretty much get it.
What?
No, that again. Yeah. I'm sorry. If you're a new listener, then I'll keep saying it. I'm sorry. Yeah, on iTunes, Spotify. You say what?
Castbox too.
Yes, Castbox. That's right.
That's how I listen to it on Android because I don't have an iPhone.
Yeah, I don't do iPhones either. I started using. I've been using Castbox for a while.
I like it. I think it's got a pretty nice little interface for it, and it's really easy to get to.
It is very simple. Yeah, so everyone catch us on Castbox too. We're there. We're everywhere. Every listening platform you can think of, we're pretty much there. Pretty proud of that. So
keep it up, man. Keep it up.
Thank you. All right, so first I got to mention for our first news, and I took a lot of drinks to this man yesterday. Stan Lee passed away. That really hit me hard.
Yeah, that was what made yesterday like super hard for me. Like, there's a lot that I love in life, and everything that as far as comics related is 100% due to him, especially the movies too. Like, there's so much that would not be possible without Stan Lee. It sucks.
I know. I'm like no more cameos or anything like that, and no more. Yeah, like he was definitely not. He's the heart. He was the heart. He was the heart of Marvel. He was the man who created the waves.
Oh man, it's actually it's crazy too. His wife died a year earlier. I don't think it was like to the date or anything, but his wife died in 2017.
Oh, see that I was not aware of that. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad he lived a long life though.
I mean he was 95. Like he was going strong too.
He was. I never would have thought that he passed, like so suddenly.
It's crazy.
So I say, everyone, let's give a moment of silence to Stan Lee and his family, all right, for the passing. All right, let's continue now. Now, Stan, one of my favorite things about Stan Lee was his work, his project X-Men, which came out, a long time ago. I can't even remember the year exactly, but X-Men is probably my favorite creation by Stan Lee. What about yours?
Mine would have to be Spider-Man in his universe.
See, Spider-Man was up there. I was thinking about choosing Spider-Man, but X-Men really did hit home for me as a kid, especially since Stan Lee. He's so creative and so brilliant. He, in one of his interviews, an article I read a long time ago, the way he created the X-Men, like the whole mutant issues and everything like that, and with Magneto and Professor Xavier always fight, going against one each other. He got a lot of that ideology from the civil rights movement in that time period.
Oh wow!
Which I thought was really cool. In fact, he based Magneto and Professor Xavier off of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
Wow.
Yeah, you can look that up too. No.
There's a lot of characters that he either created or co-created, and it seems like a lot of them played off of life events on what was going on at the time.
Yep. That's what made his work so, it was so beautiful. He's such a genius for, implementing those aspects of life into his work.
Yeah, it just makes you like them that much more because they're that much more relatable.
Yeah. And of course, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, everything he's made is never gonna die, which is another beautiful thing. It's gonna keep going strong like it always has.
Oh, of course.
So his legacy will always be remembered. And to create something like that, have it live on, and have it, be potentially immortal is crazy.
I think he's as well, if not maybe, especially within the last like 10, 15 years because of all the Marvel movies and everything that's come out. I would say he's as big as recognizable as like Hugh Hefner and stuff like that, as far as like a
oh yeah,
culture
definitely
icon.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt.
He's absolutely famous.
That's why I took so many shots to you, Stanley, because of everything you did. And I wish I could take more shots, but I got to the point where I got a little, I couldn't really walk, so I had to slow down. So I had to stop taking so many, but but anyway, that's our, so, gone but never forgotten. And I just got to say, I'm looking forward to seeing his work continue to evolve and progress.
Yeah, I just hope that they don't. I wouldn't say butcher it because I don't think they'll ever butcher it, but I just hope they stick true to what Stan would want, I guess.
Yeah, I think they will. They got to give that man his respect.
Oh, I absolutely have to. They absolutely have to give that man.
If they don't, then people are just going to rage out on them, and rightfully so.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. So, in other news, now I know it's a little bit of a spoiler alert for our podcast, but not really spoiler alert. But next week we are going to be doing a bit of an Avatar: Last Airbender special in reference to the live action Avatar movie that's going to be coming out soon. So that's what our episode next week is going to focus on mainly. But as part of a news segment, I'm just going to let everyone know that for those who don't know, they are making another live action movie attempt. And I was discussing this with the group, my podcast group, a couple of days ago. And I personally, I am not so much on the boat with that, because I think I don't think they're going to learn from the last one. And I think they're just going to, spend more money on it, but it's not going to be any better or any different. The result will be the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest here, and it's going to be honest with everyone else that's listening. I did not see the last Avatar movie. It was a live action, right?
Yeah, it was. And you know what? Though you're better off, having not seen it. Trust me.
Fair enough. I'll take your word for it.
I mean, it'd be interesting if you did see it. That way you would know how we feel or how I feel about that.
All right, maybe what I'll do is I'll put myself through that and watch it this weekend before the next podcast. That way I can make more comments on this.
It's gonna be an interesting ride for you if you see this live action, the old one, directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he directed it.
The last one or the next one coming up?
No, the first live action he directed.
Anyone let him direct what? Why?
Well, here's my thing. I like M. Night Shyamalan as a director, but that movie was one of his flops, just like that other movie that he did with Mark Wahlberg. What was that movie called? Where Mark Wahlberg was in it? And it was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. That movie sucked. I can't remember the name of it. That movie was horrible. And I'm sorry, Mark Wahlberg, but your acting was not that good either in that movie.
He does horror movies and with like these crazy twists. And he does that pretty well. Like people can give him slack for all those movies. I thought they were somewhat decent. The twist always got me. Never saw it coming.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself.
He's good for that. He just had those two movies to me. The Avatar, the Last Airbender movie, and that one movie that he made where Mark Wahlberg was the lead. Those two movies were, horrible. Those were his two most disastrous projects, in my opinion. And I wish I could remember the name of that Mark Wahlberg movie he was in, but whatever.
I'm looking it up. We're gonna find this out.
You're looking it up? Yeah, look that up for me while I go.
The Happening.
Yes, there we go. The Happening.
Wait, was that the one where the dude gets run over by like a lawnmower?
That might be it. There was like some kind of play going on in the air that made people go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was horrible.
Yeah, that movie was. Oh my god, dude.
That movie was so bad it offended me. That's how bad that movie was.
The reason I remember that movie is because there's a part where there's like a cop and they're like getting out of their cars, like a row of people in like the hills getting out of their cars, and the cop just looks over and goes, "Cheese and crackers." Like, what? Because that's the one to say, like, you see all this shit happening going on, like someone getting run over by a lawnmower and like all this other stuff, and you say cheese and crackers. What? What? What?
Yo, I totally forgot about that part.
Like, oh,
I met someone. I met somebody who said they really loved that movie. I almost kicked them in their dick.
oh,
Yo,
that
but
was such a bad movie. Can we just like erase that from the history books?
I think it erased itself after the opening weekend.
Oh my
but,
god!
but yeah, so Avatar, the last Airbender movie that's coming out soon. We're gonna see. I haven't seen the trailer yet for it or anything like that, but we're gonna find out exactly what depths they're gonna go to. I'm not gonna go too deep into this topic because we're gonna be talking about it next week. So all I'll say is that I'm not for this movie coming up, and I'll tell you guys why in our next episode. So that being said, on to the next topic. Everyone knows that the new Dragon Ball Z movie, or I'm sorry, not Dragon Ball Z movie, but the new Dragon Ball movie, Super, whatever title you want to give it, Broly is coming out soon. And with that movie, they're going to be selling the jackets that Vegeta and Goku are wearing in that, and when they're fighting in the Arctic. Vegeta and Goku wear pretty fly jackets and pretty fly mountain gear, and they're going to be selling that online soon.
Really?
So if you guys want to wear what they're wearing and get that, I might get that jacket. I'm not going to lie.
You are or you're not?
I said I might get it.
How do you get it again? I'm sorry. I was like, I'm like,
No, you'll be able to get it online soon.
okay.
Yeah, if you go back and look at one of those trailers and see what Vegeta and Goku are wearing, those blue jackets that they got on.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you'll be able to purchase those.
Yeah, is it gonna be like that friggin' Devil May Cry thing where it's $8,000?
I hope not. If it is, and you know what, I'm tired. Yeah, see, that's pretty much called fucking with the fans. Like oh guys, we got this new gear coming out, but you can't afford it. That's pretty much what that jacket said.
Oh, 100%.
When we talked about it last episode.
I don't even think, honestly, I don't think that edition even came with the game either. So I think it was like $8,000 for just the jacket.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So hopefully they're not going to pull the same shit with these Goku and Vegeta jackets, because I'm looking forward to the trying. If they get those in before winter comes, I'm gonna rock that shit.
I wonder if when does the movie come out?
December, I think.
It'd be really cool if they had it like come out like right before, like those jackets come out right before the movie. That way people could wear it in theaters to the movies.
That is a good selling point. I would wear it to the theater.
Yeah, I would wear it to the theater.
Theaters get cold too, so you'll be nice and relaxed with the Goku and Vegeta jacket on while Broly's wrecking shop and shoving Goku's face through the what do you call those things that took down the Titanic? Iceberg. There we go.
Dude, they weren't little. That thing was huge, right?
Yeah, Broly was smashing their heads through those damn icebergs like it was nothing. Yeah, I cannot wait for this movie to come out.
That's the Dragon Ball Super movie, right?
Yeah.
See, I thought they were bringing out Goku's dad in that one. I remember the speculation in the first.
Yeah, there is. There's gonna be like a flashback of some kind, and you're gonna see Bardock.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna see him. There were a lot of theories about that. They finally came to become true. So
yeah.
Looking forward to that as well. A lot of Bardock fans are out there. So now, other than that, I don't really have much news. There were some other topics that I thought about talking about with the news segment, but I don't really. Well, here's one actually. If you guys have Wii, Netflix is going to be taking themselves off of Wii starting January 30th of next year. So
really,
yeah, I didn't look too much into it. So I don't know why they're taking themselves off of Wii. And really, I don't see the big deal of it because Netflix is pretty much accessible through every device that you have in your home.
Considering like kids these days have, cell phones, like smartphones.
Yeah, I live in a white. I was in the list of articles I usually get weekly, but
that's weird.
Anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much all I'm going to say for the whole news thing.
And that's the way the news goes.
So moving on. Now, I hope you enjoyed my little segment I did last episode, Dandy, with our, guess that anime character and the guess the anime songs. Did you like that?
Nope.
You didn't like it?
Nope. It's not. Yeah, it's because I suck.
Because you didn't know any of them, right?
Then I did not get that Code Geass one. Dude, I am so mad at myself.
I know you were screaming. That's right. That's how mad you were.
Oh my god.
I felt kind of like, and I knew that you were definitely I knew you definitely would have had it maybe if you just had that. It was probably on the tip of your tongue too.
It was. You know, that's fine. And anyone in here, if you want, you can come. You can come yell at me while I'm streaming on Twitch or Facebook. Just come yell at me at how bad I am at recognizing that stuff. Oh my god.
Well, you know what? It's all right though because you get another chance to guess these characters right and these songs. All right, everybody, it's time for another round of Guess That Anime Character. All right, so this character is heir to a family fortune, but he runs away in order to follow his dreams, where he ends up meeting one of his best friends. His family, they are a bit eccentric, and they're known for being one of the greatest assassination families of the world. This particular individual, is an assassin himself, and he has unique skills, a bubbly personality, and a very mischievous demeanor. He also has a big weakness for candy, more specifically chocolate. All right. Now, to give you guys a hint, a big hint, this character has silver hair. All right.
Like, I feel like the silver hair, I should know this. I know I should probably know this, and I can't think of it.
See, you might maybe. I'll give you some time to think about it because I'm going to be announcing the answers at the end of the show today.
Okay.
All right. So I'll repeat it again at the end of the show and I'll give the answer. All right. So that being said, it's time for the next segment. Guess that anime opening.
Oh, no. You're hitting me with a double whammy. Oh, my God.
All right. So I'll give you guys a chance to listen on now. I'll also give you the answers to these openings at the end of the show. However, if Danny knows them, I'll give him a chance to shout them out real quick. So, one of my personal favorites will start out with this one. All right, that was number one. Any ideas, Dandy guy?
Not even a clue.
That's an old classic one too. All right, so here's the next one, everybody. 3, 2, and 1. And that was number 2. Dandy, any ideas?
Wow, that seems so familiar. I need to watch more anime. That's my problem. I need to just watch anime for the freaking opening theme songs. Like, I know it. I know which one this is.
It's cool. You know, since you are our gaming / PC host and everything, I'll give you a break.
Oh, well. All right. Fair. You know what? Whatever.
Well, are you a little sorry? You'll get it next time, Dandy. You'll get it next time. Don't worry. This segment will be going on for a while, so you got plenty of chances to redeem yourself.
I'll get myself at least once.
I know you will. I have faith in you. But until then,
get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack.
All your shit.
So it's together.
Fair enough.
All right, so now into the heart of today's episode, everybody. Castlevania's which appeared on Netflix last year, and season 2 came on Netflix this year in October. Now, as most of you might know, I shouldn't say should know. I'm sorry, I'll take that back. As most of you might know, Castlevania is a long-running video game that is very popular, started in Japan, and gained a lot more popularity in the West. And it centers around the killing of Dracula. So, when they first announced on Netflix that they were going to be doing a Castlevania series, I really didn't know what to expect from it. I played a few Castlevania games that I didn't really. I played pieces of them. All right, I didn't really beat all of them or anything like that. I did watch like growing up. I played like the those old 2D ones where you would like jump up and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
David?
like the platformer.
Yeah, those were hard too as a kid.
No, those were not easy. Those were no joke.
But I played some of those. My cousin, he's a big fan of Castlevania, so I learned about that whole franchise through him, growing up as a kid and everything. So I knew what it was about. I knew what the main purpose was. So when Netflix announced it, I was like, oh, all right, well, I'll check it out because who doesn't love vampires? I know I love vampires. Danny, do you love vampires?
I would have to say, yeah, I do.
Okay, see, we both love vampires. That's why we checked out the show.
Exactly.
So, what are your thoughts on Netflix's Castlevania and the whole,
when it first came on, like I remember scrolling through Netflix and seeing it, and I was like, huh, that's a video game. Like I don't know how I feel about this. Because like I said, like anything that people take where it's like games into movies or shows or animes into live action, like it never really works out well. So I actually passed it up, and then my friend, who is somewhat big into vampires and actually huge into animes, like I would say almost as much, if not maybe more than even Bill. He had me over his house, and we ended up watching the first couple episodes of the first season, and I was completely drawn in from the first episode. I mean, it's extremely gory, and I love it. I love that it's not like a PG-13 or anything. Like it's blood and it's gut.
Yeah, they didn't hold anything back with that gore,
which is honestly how they should do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking Dracula.
He's no joke. Dracula is no joke.
And speaking of the first couple episodes, everybody, it doesn't take long to finish the first season. It's only 4 episodes.
Which honestly I think is perfect. I think it's the perfect first season, kind of get you into it, and you'll know by then, you at least know by like the second episode, but even more so for those few that like want to see like a few episodes deep, before they're like, oh, maybe I will continue watching the full series of it. It's really good.
Yeah, and I think it was a good idea for them to. Oh, I don't want to call it good. It was interesting. I'll say that they only had 4 episodes in the first season, because the effect that had on me, I finished episode 4, the final episode of the first season, and I wanted more, and I was upset that there weren't more episodes in the first season.
I can understand that.
So that was my only problem with that. But other than that, it was good, and it definitely had me on my seat waiting for season 2, which I was glad. I was glad that you were working on season 2. I'm glad that they released it. So when it came out, last month, I was so hyped, and we would have had this episode sooner, but everyone, guys, but life gets in the way of things, and things happen, and blah blah blah. You get the point. But anyway, we're doing it now. And that's what's most important. It's getting done.
Exactly.
So, Castlevania Season 1. Very short season, but there is something I really enjoyed about Castlevania Season 1. And I'll tell you what it is. Now, as you mentioned before, when it comes to adaptions done off of, video games and anime, people don't really tend to do a very good job with that sort of thing. And history speaks for itself. However, I felt very differently about Netflix's Castlevania. If anything, I felt as though this series that Netflix worked on had, in some ways, it allowed room for even more expansion into the Castlevania universe. Now, I say that because one thing I really enjoyed was the fact that in this series, Dracula, I'm sorry, what's his full name in the series? It's Vlad Dracula Tepish. Yeah, Vlad Dracula Tepish. He is nothing like his video game counterpart. In the video game, in the video game, Dracula is that basic villain. I'm going to destroy the world and cover it in darkness, and blah blah. I'll destroy everything, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in this Netflix series, he's pretty deep. and we see more into his character, and we see the tragedy in his character and why he's doing what he's doing.
I think they did a really good job with the character development for sure, especially on Dracula.
Yeah, it was very unexpected for me. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, like I actually was like, man, like if I was in that situation, like you know what, I'd probably do the same thing almost. Like if I was in that position, I'd be like, you know what, fuck them all.
Now, since season one's been out for a while, we're gonna give some details about the season. All right, so I'm not gonna. You guys, hopefully you've seen season one. It's only 4 episodes, but basically what happens is in the beginning of season one, we see a woman. She knocks on Dracula's door, his castle, and she's trying to become a doctor. On her way to the castle, we see the spikes coming out from the ground with the bodies on it, that he's impaled, which comes from Vlad the Impaler, that old, story. That's a historic thing, yep. Vlad the Impaler. So, we see all that scenery. She knocks on the door opens. She goes in and she's telling Dracula, listen, I'm trying to be a doctor. I'm trying to heal people. I heard this is where I could go. I tried everything else, so this is my last option. So, they have some banter, between the two of them. I thought her name's Lisa, by the way, and she has some brass balls. I love that character, Lisa.
Yeah, I don't think I would ever go near a castle where there were people. Like I'd be like, you know what? That's not for me.
Right? And when she was telling Dracula what she needed science and she needed his knowledge in order to help the people of her village, he was saying, well, what's in it for me? Maybe I should just take a drink out of you. And then she was like, well, maybe I can help you relearn some manners. You haven't, offered to take my coat or given me a drink or anything.
Yeah. She got some.
And it was from that moment, that's when they fell in love. Dracula was like, you know what? I'm gonna make you my wife. So basically everyone, he taught Lisa, he pretty much taught, he gave her the knowledge she requested. He taught her how to be a doctor. And during that journey, they fall in love. Unfortunately, where it gets dark, 20 years later, we see Lisa burning at the stake.
Yeah.
Tell me how epic the Dracula's comeback was when he came to those people, the bishop and the townspeople, after she finished burning, when he came to them in that fiery glaze, was he not a true boss?
Yo, that was outrageous. Like, I mean, like if I were someone there, I probably would just shit my pants immediately. Like, what the hell is going on? Why is there a demon yelling at me? Like, nope, I don't want this.
Now, my favorite part about that scene, when after they burn Lisa, to the stake, and Dracula comes and he's talking to the villagers in that firestorm of rage, the bishop, who was responsible for burning her in the first place, he was saying, "Oh, you don't exist. This can't be real." And one of my favorite lines in the series was when Dracula told him, he said, "What? You take my wife from me and then you deny that I even exist?" And he said, "I'll give you 1 year to make peace with your God before I send my armies upon all of you." Boss moves.
Like, mic drop, done.
And I was like, 1 year? Why did he give him 1 year? I would have wiped that shit off the earth right then and there. But we learned that he gave them 1 year because that's how long it would take for him to summon an army of that magnitude.
Yeah.
Which, so we knew then he wasn't playing around.
Not at all. But it also begs the question for when they skip ahead to 1 year later and they have that celebration in defiance of Dracula, which I don't know why the hell you would do that in the first place because now you're antagonizing the guy. But he comes back and he kills that archbishop and he destroys the church. Like, why would you stay there? Like, he gave you a year that he was come back and kill you. You're like, you know what? I've got a year. I don't need a year. I just need a couple days to pack my shit up. I'm out of here. Like, no.
Well, that was that arrogance of the church at that time period. And during that time period, the church was was the most influential and powerful aspect of that culture.
100%. Even more than the kings and queens and the royal families.
Yeah.
I mean, the church was outrageous.
And it was because of that arrogance that, they were telling people, oh, it's going to be all right. It was just an illusion of the devil, I was not surprised when they were throwing a parade to celebrate the death of his wife, and that's when the blood and gore really started happening though.
Oh yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, it goes from 0 to 100 real fast.
Yeah, those demons came down and they started hacking people to bits. Yeah.
No, it's not even like they just like slice the dude in half and you just see some blood spurt and then it fall to the ground. Like there are full on entrails just coming out. Like they went all in on that.
Yeah, everyone, when you watch this show, they do not skip out on the brutality. Yeah, the first victim, I think, in that scene where they had the parade when the demons come down, this lady, the demon came down and swiped her, and she turned around and her bottom jaw was gone, and her arm was gone.
Oh my god, that's right.
And her stomach was open, and she just fell over.
Oh my gosh.
I was like,
I think that's like the point where like I really got sucked in. Like everyone's badass so far, but like they didn't skimp out on the brutality and they go like, yes, this is what I want.
Yeah, and they had to do it that way because I'm glad the creators didn't butter it down or dim it down, because when you have a story like this where you have a monster, a legend, a demon like Dracula waging war on humanity, it's not gonna be pretty.
Yeah. No, it's not supposed to be pretty.
Right. So I'm glad they didn't cut everything out or switch camera angles or switch a different scene before a brutal hit came or anything like that. So it's good they did that. I appreciated it. It was real. So they kept them 100.
That they did.
So these demons, they wage in war, and we finally get to the main character, Trevor Belmont. And for those familiar with the game, we know the Belmonts they're the main characters of the Castlevania games. They are out there on the screen whipping it good, literally. So when I saw Trevor Belmont for the first time in the series, honestly, I wasn't too familiar with that character. I know he is on one of the games that you play as him, but I never played that game.
I'm not sure if I played that one either.
So he was very new to me when I first saw him on screen, but very funny. What'd you think about that bar scene? Yeah.
Yo, I instantly fell in love with Trevor after that bar scene. Like, he's drunk ass, stumbling, getting punched, and yet still whooping ass while trying to get more beer and food. Like, yeah, that's my kind of guy right there.
Right? Oh, pretty much everyone, like Trevor Belmont, the Belmonts in this Netflix series, they were excommunicated by the church, and they're pretty much wiped out. Trevor is the last Belmont, and he's the only one, the last vampire hunter, the last hunter of anything, pretty much, in this series. And because of the church treating his family the way they did, he spends his days pretty much drinking at bars and throwing up. Which I understand, because who wouldn't be like that after your whole family gets wiped out and the church, and the people turn their back on you after you spent generations protecting them from the dark forces of hell, like vampires and werewolves and things of that nature.
Like, well, what else do you do?
Yeah, so I understood where he was coming from, because he was pretty much, when he heard about the Dracula's army, sweeping across the country, he didn't really give a shit.
No, he did not. I mean,
and he was content with letting everyone get killed. What'd you say?
I don't blame him for it. I mean, your family's wiped out, and like everyone else like hates you because of what your family did, like saving them. Like, all right.
Yeah. So we fast forward a little bit. Trevor ends up going to this town called Gresham. But Trevor runs into these individuals called speakers, particularly an old man who he saves from the church. They're trying to wipe out the speakers because the church is saying that the town Gresham is in trouble because the speakers are here. They're the ones causing these devils to come onto our town and kill us every night, which we all know is BS. But the people are so desperate, they believe the church and are willing to pretty much wipe out the speakers in order to save themselves, which shows the level of desperation.
Yeah, that it does. And sheep blindly following.
Yeah, right. Now, the one thing that In fact, the speakers were actually responsible, you could say, for getting Trevor back into caring again about this Dracula's War.
Yeah, yeah, that's 100% because he actually urged them to leave. He didn't want them to die. So I mean, at least it kind of showed that he still cares about some people.
Yeah, I think it was when he saw how resolute they were in their beliefs, how even though the townspeople were willing to kill them or to save themselves from the speakers, I think that kind of helped him out, kind of see, okay, where, because he wasn't like, he didn't, we watching his character, we realized that he's not initially killing vampires because it's his duty per se, because we know he doesn't care about his duty because of what happened between his family and the church,
Right?
but he realizes that he's the only one who can make a difference in this war. His family believed in fighting for the people against demons and monsters. And the speakers helped them realize, okay, this is bigger than me. All right, I have the power to change this, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Well, that and whenever he finally meets Sypha.
Yes, that's right. Sypha Bonatus. That's the character who is also in the games too. Trevor ends up saving Sypha, I'm sorry, from that stone prison she was in, from that Cyclops, which was pretty cool, actually. I like that fight.
That was a really, really good fight scene. I mean, I think that I like how they stayed true to like a lot of the lore of like Cyclops, where if it casts its gaze upon you and you look right at it, you turn to stone. I really like that.
Yes, that was pretty epic. So then, when it comes time for, after he saves Sypha and everything like that, when it comes time for these people to, take out the speakers, Trevor's there to defend them, and Trevor pretty much takes on a whole mob, which was beautiful.
Oh, that scene was just absolutely awesome.
Yo, he was killing it.
But then you run into where the demons came down, and I like how they quickly changed the attitude, and I liked how as he's fighting, Trevor is explaining to the townspeople that it's the church that actually is the reasoning behind Dracula's attack, and like getting them to sway their opinion. Like he cares enough to where he's actually trying to sway their opinion and show them the truth.
Yes, because the church was so corrupt in the series.
Oh, absolutely ridiculous.
Because that bishop who burned, actually I forgot to mention this, the bishop who burned Dracula's wife to begin with was, he transferred over to Gresham just in time for this whole escapade with the speakers, because he's the one he caused all that too.
Yeah,
he was causing trouble left and right.
He's just a troublemaker, man. He's like that kid in school where your mom's just like, nah, don't hang out with that kid.
Yeah, always lying. Yo, why you always lying? Why the fuck you lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying. But yeah, so that bishop, he's back. He's in Gresham, causing more trouble. And during the mob fight with with Trevor, the demons come to Gresham, and they're trying to continue what they've been doing. And like you said, not only is he swaying them, he's teaching them how to fight these demons.
Yeah, he was,
which was really cool.
I like that. I like that they added that in there.
And we also see Sypha and her magic ability. Yo, she was like the Avatar of the Last Airbender. All that magic, yo, the wind, the ice, and the fire. She was the fire magic she was using.
Yo, it made me recount the days when I would play World of Warcraft and play with the nerds. Right? It made me miss those days. I absolutely love mage characters. I mean, glass cannon for life, but
yo, she was powerful.
She can kick some fucking ass.
Yes. In fact, I can't wait to talk to mention some of her feats in the season 2, but we'll get to that in a couple minutes. So anyway, the demons are here. Now, one of my favorite scenes in episode 4 is when the demons came to the church and killed the bishop, yo.
Yo, I absolutely loved that.
I was clapping.
And I liked how they kind of surround him. There were 2 behind him, and then the one in front of him talking to him, kind of there's in full despair, there's nowhere for you to fucking run.
Yeah, and he was like, I'm doing God's work. And the demon was like, your work makes him puke.
Yeah.
But we love you. And he was like, what? We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Let me kiss you. And he tore his shit up.
Oh my god, that was great.
So during the whole demon fight, with Trevor and Sypha, there, and the townspeople are fighting the demons. During that fight, Trevor and Cypher, they fall underground into the catacombs, where they eventually meet the sleeping soldier of legend that is told throughout the series, Alucard.
Which, fun fact, is Dracula spelled backwards.
Exactly. They meet Alucard, Dracula's son, also known as Adrian Tepish. So they meet, and we see we get a little more deeper into Cypher's character too. We see a little bit of her naivete as a character, and her idealism. That was one thing I liked about her character, actually, because when they came in contact with Alucard, she was like, "The sleeping soldier, it's him. He's real." And Trevor was like, "Nah, he's a fucking vampire." So after Cypher and Trevor meet Alucard, there's a pretty epic fight that ensues, which was pretty. What they are, the fight scenes in this show are pretty decent.
Honestly, like I kind of thought that either Trevor was gonna die there or Alucard was gonna die there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but like it just seemed like you could kind of, I don't know, I could kind of tell that Alucard was like kind of toying with Trevor, but at the same time, like, right. It is Trevor Belmont. I mean, he's fought vampires before, so like he kind of has to.
Trevor was pulling his weight though. He was doing pretty.
Oh yeah, he was definitely doing really well.
Especially at the end of that fight, it was kind of like almost a mutual victory / defeat in a way.
Yeah.
But pretty much at the end of the fight, they all decide to team up. So we have, just like in the game, Alucard, Trevor Belmont, and Cypher Bonetus travel to try and stop Dracula from waging war on humanity. And we didn't really get much into Alucard's character in season 1, but we do know that he didn't want his father to unleash the army. And we also know that he tried to stop Dracula, but it didn't turn out too well. But I'll let you guys watch that for yourselves.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil any of that stuff.
But season 2 was where I watched season 2 in a day.
Yeah, I think I watched it in a weekend, and it was really just like most of it in one night, and then the rest of it on like a Saturday. I think it was.
Yeah, I won't give too much detail about season 2. I'll just give like a couple of my favorite parts I liked about it. But season 2 starts off with a bit of a flashback to how the church captured Lisa, and I thought that was really sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that they went and did that backstory though.
It did, shed some light.
Well, especially on like her learning and using the stuff that Dracula taught her on how to heal people. Her using it. Yeah,
and we saw one of her patients and everything, and then the church came up in there and said, "Witch."
Yeah, I kind of got a little confused at that when they came in there. Like, what the hell are they looking for? Because they were tearing that place apart. Like it looked like they were looking for something very specific, not just like essentially like her chemistry set.
Right. It looked like a search warrant.
Like kid's chemistry set. Like, oh, she's got vials and tubes and stuff. We don't know what's in there. That's it. We found it. We got them, boys.
Yep, and that was how so they showed us how they captured her, which which really sucked. But and then we pretty much get into Dracula, and we see what he's doing with this whole war and this genocide, and we see some more vampires, some his generals. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Godbrand cracked me up. The vampire Viking dude.
I loved him. Dude, he was like that smart ass.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it.
He grew on me. He grew on me. I liked him. He was cool. He was like, and I also liked the, one thing I thought was cool. Dracula's his two human generals, Hector and Isaac, the Forge Masters, they're pretty much alchemists, I guess you could call them.
I think they consider them like necromancers.
Yeah, because they were responsible for the army.
I like how they make the army too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like that. Well, they each had their own different way of doing it. I know Hector, he had like that hammer, and he would strike
Hector
it.
Hector has a hammer, and he wouldn't even strike the being or whatever. He would strike the table.
Yeah, and the magic would come up and turn the corpse into a beast, and that was pretty cool. And Isaac had his knife, which he used to cut them open, and it would morph them.
I think they did a really good job with those two characters.
Oh yeah, we saw some other backstory too. Yeah, in fact, I thought it was interesting that Dracula, out of all his, he had two human generals, and the rest were vampires. And the human generals, Isaac and Hector, were, even though they were human, they were willing to help Dracula wipe out humanity. So I thought that was very interesting, and we see why in the season, why they want to help Dracula wipe everything out.
I like how he says that they was it. He says like they're more loyal,
Right. Because they're willing to exterminate their own species.
Yeah. Like they're more like they're the most trusted that he has.
Right. And the fact that they're not driven by the thirst of blood either.
That is very true.
Yeah, so Hector and Isaac were up there in my book of one of the things I really took notice to, especially Isaac. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isaac was a true that was loyalty right there. Yeah. People, I won't give too much away about it, but I'll say one thing. Dracula chose well when he chose Isaac, the human forge master, as his general. That dude he had his back. Did he not?
Dude, he completely had his back.
I was like, yo, brother man, don't play. He was not playing games. He said, you try to run game on Drac while I'm here?
Hell no. It's mine.
He said, ain't nobody running game on Dracula while I'm here. So that's why so Isaac was cool. But it really got interesting when Carmilla, the vampire from Styria, the vampire aristocrat, she was pretty interesting. She came in. She started causing trouble from the get-go.
I did not like her at all. I'll be honest. I did not like her. The moment I saw her, like, nah, I don't like this.
Yeah, she was the puppet master.
Oh my gosh. I honestly, I know that they put those characters in for a reason, but I can't stand characters like that.
Right. Yeah. Her purpose was mainly to flip the generals against Dracula so she could have her own way and make her own moves.
She was there to pull the strings against Dracula, you know?
Yeah, she was the fucking manipulative, the whore. Yo, but she was smart though. She was smart. I'll give her that.
Those characters always are. Those characters that do stuff like that and, always manipulate people. They're always very smart. And it makes me hate them so much more.
So when they give us this look into Dracula's his party of generals and advisors, we also see that Dracula is at a point where he just doesn't care anymore. He just wants all the humans killed.
Yeah.
He's very apathetic and very empty at this point in the series.
They also mentioned about like him killing too many humans, not leaving enough for the vampires. He's just like, I don't really care.
Yeah, it was when it was, I think Godbrand mentioned that.
Yeah,
to him.
and he's just like, you'll have enough. Like, now that you're gonna, you'll be set for what you need, not for what you want. Like he just
and it was right. And it was at that point I realized watching the show, okay, he doesn't care about his own life either.
No, but it's interesting and cool to see how he goes from being a secluded vampire and living on his own to bringing in a human and then caring about her and then kind of caring about humans and then raging against humans, and now he's just like an empty shell.
Right. You're right. That transition is for as far as that whole character development, that transition, that made Dracula even more interesting too.
Yeah. And it's like, I know like in the their timeline, it's like 20 or 30 years. So it's not like anything that's like super quick, but since there's only like 12 episodes so far, like it's very quick, and it's really cool to see how that character development, character change every time it happens and changes. It's like almost rapidly.
Yeah. Very true. And we see how it because of the one thing that really was his downfall was he allowed the other generals and everyone to realize how empty he was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, because when they start realizing that, they're like, what? He doesn't care about us. He just wants this war. He wants to kill all the humans, but he doesn't care about what's left over for us. That's when things start going downhill for that castle.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that castle. That castle's badass.
Yes. And we also, and during this time period when, during the whole war and everything, we see Trevor and Alucard and Cypher, they're all, they're traveling, to get more information about Dracula, through via the Belmont Hold, which contains the magic and spells and information on monsters of the night.
Yeah,
so they're trying to get there.
They didn't do like a cop out and have like Alucard like know everything about Dracula's castle, because I mean it's technically his home too, I guess.
Yeah, good point. That's true. You're right. I'm glad they didn't do that either.
Like they're like, oh, I know exactly how to do this. This is how we're gonna do this because I live there. Like, no, they're just like, we're gonna make them go and find the information, and you get to go through that whole development too. Speaking
of which, how funny was Trevor and Alucard's relationship throughout the show season 2?
Oh my god, it's great. It's absolutely great.
Like, one thing I like about Alucard, they didn't make him some angsty, emo character. Like, he is sarcastic and witty, and he has a personality.
Yeah, I love those two. Like how, and especially that whole group, like how the whole group ends up playing out and their personalities.
Yeah,
it's a perfect mix.
They did a good job with that. So we see they're on their way to collect more information on the castle and whatnot. And that's pretty much what they spend a lot of the series of season 2 really doing that.
Yeah, they spent at least like 3 or 4 episodes being in the
hold.
Yeah, in the hold, doing the research, and that's the same place where Trevor finds the Morning Star.
The Morning Star whip. Yep.
Oh my god, that thing is so badass.
Yeah, when he found that, I was like, oh, just like the game.
Yeah, and then like seeing him actually use it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was. That dude, Trevor. I cannot wait. They gotta do a season 3 for this.
They definitely left it off on a hanger enough to do a season 3.
Yeah, they did. Because you got to have a season 3. I want to see more of I gotta see more of that Morning Star whip in action. I gotta see more of Cypher and her magic usage. She was a boss in season 2 with that magic.
I absolutely love her as a character.
Now, when I'm gonna skip forward a little bit, so I don't want to give too much away, but when they it gets to a point where the three of them actually end up getting to Dracula's castle. I won't exactly say how, but I will let you guys know that they eventually do make it there, and the fight scene that happens again, between Alucard, Trevor, and Cypher against those vampire generals and those other vampire minions, when that theme song came on, Bloody Tears, I was like, oh my god. Was that fight not epic? In fact, hold on, I'm gonna play the song now so I can pay some homage to the to the franchise. All right? Yeah. Epic. Yeah, when they played that during that fight scene, how beautiful was that fight scene too?
That was absolutely gorgeous.
When Trevor was like, "I'll terrify them," Cypher disorientates them, and Alucard goes up and above. We cover him.
Yeah. And the amount of like their teamwork, it's almost like I don't know how long they allude to them being in the Belmont Castle, but it's like they've been fighting with each other for like months,
for years.
Like they know exactly how to work and play with each other and around each other.
Yeah, you would have thought they were working together for years. That's how great that fight scene. That's how in tune they were with each other.
So good. Oh my god, such a good fight scene.
And one thing, of course, I can't go without mentioning that when they finally go up against Dracula, that was not what I expected.
No, honestly, I was not expecting that at all. But I love that they did that.
I'll say one thing though: Trevor and the gang are lucky Dracula had not been feeding for like a whole year.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah, because for those who watch the show, you find out Dracula has not been drinking human blood for a while. Ever since his wife died, I think it's been that long.
Oh wow.
So I think he's going like a whole year without drinking human blood.
Yeah, I definitely would not want to see him drinking blood.
If he had been at full strength in that fight, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that'd be outrageous.
I can only imagine how that fight would have went. But I will say though, I was happy with the whole, with how it ended and how we got that Dracula and Alucard scene at the end.
Yeah, dude, that was
That was pretty heart wrenching.
that was definitely a heart wrencher for sure.
That made me like Dracula even more.
Yeah, yeah. Like, it's still throughout the entire show. I still love Dracula. Still love his character.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, everybody really grew. A lot of characters in this season 1, season 2, and the whole series in general really grew on you. Dracula being probably my number one. Everyone, we see so much with Alucard and how his struggle against the loss of his mom and having to go against his father. We see Sypha and her her idealism and her her having to leave the other speakers behind to travel with Trevor and Alucard, but we also see that spark of adventure that she has now, and even other characters like Isaac, who ended up going his own way. I won't say how, but we see what he's about to start doing with his own army.
Yeah,
that dude can fight.
no, that fucking scene was awesome.
In the desert.
Yeah, the desert scene. I feel like every fucking fight scene in this show is amazing, and it's only 12 episodes. Like, there's so much going on. This is like such a great storyline and such a great series, and it's only 12 episodes. Go watch it right now. Please do yourself a favor.
Yes, you have to. In fact, I'm hoping like when season 3 comes out, there'll be, because season one had 4 episodes, season 2 had 8. So hopefully season 3 has at least 12.
Yo, I hope they keep that going. That'd be so sweet.
Yes. So everyone, you got to definitely check out Castlevania. Myself, Genbu here, and Danny Guy in Space, we're telling you go check it out. It's worth the watch. And you will not be disappointed. If you are disappointed, then tell us why. I want to know why. So email us, comment on our social media platforms. Let me know why you don't like Castlevania, and I will have a conversation with you. I really will, honestly, because I want to know why you didn't
100%.
like it, and I will challenge.
I will challenge every single reason why you think it's not good. I will ask you questions.
So that being said, that pretty much wraps up my spiel about Castlevania in general for the Netflix original. Unless you want to add anything, Dandy?
Not really, but I will say it and this is kind of going a little bit off topic. As far as the whole Alucard, I feel like if you really end up liking Castlevania, you might want to go give I think it's is it Van Helsing or the Stan Helsing, the other anime that's about vampires. That's a very good one too.
What's it called?
I think it's Van Helsing.
I mean, I know a really good vampire anime is definitely it's called Hellsing Ultimate. Is that what you're talking about? You might be talking about that.
Hellsing Ultimate.
Yeah, because Hellsing Ultimate it's all about the Hellsing family.
That is Hellsing Ultimate. That's what it is.
Yeah. So yeah, he's telling you guys to check out Hellsing Ultimate, which is a very epic anime about the vampire Alucard and the Hellsing organization taking out vampires. And one of my favorite characters in that whole show is Sarah's Victoria, the Draculina, as they call her.
Oh my gosh, she's awesome.
Yeah, so guys, definitely check out Hellsing Ultimate if you have not watched it. We should do an episode about that one day. Yeah.
Yo, 2 vampire. Yeah, I'm down, man.
Yeah, that was even off topic. That was on topic. That's pretty good. That was a good mention.
I just love that they used Alucard. Like that whole Alucard thing, it made me remember Hellsing Ultimate. Like, oh wait, I remember watching that. And, like, that one's also pretty. Like, it's not as brutal as.
No, it is. It's pretty brutal.
I must not have gotten that far into it because, like, I remember like it's brutal, but like I didn't see that much like crazy gore. But like I know it can get pretty brutal. I gotta rewatch that.
No. The Alucard in Hellsing Ultimate is ripping people apart, like for real.
Oh, I gotta finish that then. I gotta get back on that.
Yeah. So that being said, I will do for the final time of the episode the guess the anime character description, and I'll give you guys a chance to listen to the anime openings one more time. All right. So for guess that anime character, I'll say it again. This character is heir to a family fortune, and he runs away to follow his dream of to be a certain occupation. I can't say the occupation; you guys will know who it is. However, his family, they're all famous assassins, and so is he. All right. Now, he has very unique skills. All right. He has a bubbly personality, mischievous demeanor, silver hair, and has a weakness for candy, specifically chocolate. All right. I said he has silver hair, right?
Yeah.
Should I get one more hint?
I mean, I'll take any hint you want to give me.
I'll get one more hint. He uses lightning as his main weapon, his main ability.
Nope.
So, do you know who the character is now?
No.
All right. The character is Killua from Hunter x Hunter.
God damn it. God damn. This is why I can't have nice things.
Boo, not cool.
I watched that like last year too. I watched Hunter X. Oh my gosh, I am just.
That's okay.
Disqualified.
I deserve that.
So, as for the anime openings, I'll play those one more time shortly before I give the answers. All right, everybody, for those who do not know, that anime opening is Outlaw Star. The anime that came out in January 1998, centering around Gene Starwin and his quest to be the greatest outlaw and find the galactic ley line.
I don't think I've seen that.
Boo, not cool.
You need to watch that one, yeah. Everyone who listens to this show knows I'm a big fan of Yu Yu Hakusho and of Outlaw Star.
I will.
So all you listeners know.
I'll add that to the list then.
Yes, add that to the list. You got that. All right, and for the second anime opening I played earlier. All right, for those who do not know, and for those who do know, that anime opening was the opening for the first season of Blood Plus.
I've never heard of that.
An anime centering around Saya Otanashi, who fights Chiropterans. They're bat-like vampiric creatures, and she is on a quest to destroy her sister Diva with the help of the what was their name? I just had a brain fart. Oh, it's the Goldschmidt family, but the name of the organization is the because I forgot the name of the organization. All right, here's this. If anyone who, and this is a promise, all right, if you're a listener of the show, okay, if you can tell us via email, okay, go to our email, which you can find on our website, www.geekbluespodcast.com, all right. If you can tell us via email what organization help Saya destroy Chiropterans, all right? Email us that answer, all right? The first one to do that will get a gift card for PlayStation Network, all right?
Ooh.
In fact, I'll give you a 3-month subscription for PlayStation Network, all right? They do 3 months, right? Is it 3 months or is it 1 month?
They do 3 months. It's 3 months, 6 months, and a year. I don't think they do 1 month cards.
Right. Yeah, so the first person to email us, if you're a listener, all right, this giveaway will not be given to any of our social media followers, all right? Only to our listeners. So if you listen to our show, email us the answer to that question, which is what organization backs up Saya to her quest of destroying Chiropterans, all right? Email us the answer. First one to do it will get a 3-month subscription to PlayStation Network, all right? Let us know. All right, I give you my word as a podcaster. Now, that being said, Dandy Guy in Space, any final comments, concerns, or
No, I'm just upset that I couldn't live up to your expectations.
It's okay. You know what? You're good. All right, let's like say there's always next time. I know you got it. You got
I'll
it.
get it. I'm gonna get it. You know, I'm gonna do my homework.
That's right. Don't forget, everyone, catch us on social media and catch us on all listening platforms, okay? And don't forget that giveaway. I say it one more time, only for our listeners. Email us the answer as far as what organization backs up Saya in her quest to destroy the Chiropterans, all right? Email that to us. The first person to do it gets a 3-month subscription for PlayStation Network, all right? Have a good night, Dandy.
You have a good night too, guys.
All right. Everybody, peace out.